Hey everybody, welcome back to another video of my channel. So I've already made a Rivian video, a Tesla video, and I've also included Lucid in it. So I really liked that video and I got a lot of views on it. So now, as you guys might know, Rivian R2 is finally released along with R2S and R3. So I'm very excited. They look pretty cool to me. I've seen their release. I was just watching it and they seem pretty cool, and they also seem pretty similar to Tesla Model Y. So I had an idea in my head and I decided to make a video comparing Tesla Model Y and Rivian R2. So in case you guys also thought it was similar, now I made a video about it for you to show you which one is better, if one of them's better than the other one, if you're gonna buy one, which one to buy, and just the overall specs of both of them. So let's get this video started. So discussing the specs, overall the Tesla Model Y is a bit smaller and a bit less narrow than the Rivian R2. The Rivian R2 is basically just like the Rivian 1S, Rivian's first SUV model, but just a bit smaller. And instead of 7-seater, it's 3 rows, it's just 2 rows and a 5-seater. So they basically just trimmed it in their height and the width and the length and everything. So it's just a bit smaller than its older brother Rivian 1S, but it's still a bit bigger than Tesla Model Y in basically all its dimensions. So now let's talk about other specs. For example, 0 to 60. For the Rivian, it's actually 0 to 60 is 3 seconds, which is pretty good. The Tesla Model Y, on the other hand, 3.5 seconds, which is just a bit slower than the Rivian, but both of these times are considered pretty good. Average car would probably be around 5 seconds. So these two cars are pretty high. They're not the highest, obviously, but these 0 to 60 times would be considered good. The price on both of these cars are pretty similar. The Rivian R2 is just a bit higher, only $2,000 higher than the Tesla Model Y. Rivian R2 is $45,000, while the Tesla Model 3 is $43,000. So both of these cars are priced very similar and close to each other. So let's talk about the autonomy. Rivian actually has a lot of sensors, cameras, and radars on its R2 vehicle. So some people are actually saying that it might get level 3 autonomy. If you guys don't know what that is, there are 5 levels of autonomies on vehicles. So there are 5 levels. People are saying Rivian might get level 3, which is pretty high. Tesla Model Y is only at 2, so it will be higher than Tesla Model Y. And that is just a rumor, and people don't know yet if Rivian will actually implement that feature on the R2, but it does have enough sensors and radars and cameras on it. So that is one feature that Rivian might be getting, and that will be pretty cool since it's actually better than Tesla's autonomy, which is already pretty good. Unlike the length and width and height of the car, the weight was sadly not announced, but the R1S's weight is around 7,000 pounds. So some people are guessing that it'll be around 3 tons or 5,500 pounds to 6,000 pounds, which is actually significantly higher than Tesla's. Tesla's Model Y is only at 4,400 pounds. So people are guessing that the R2 will be almost 2,000 pounds heavier than the Tesla Model Y, which is actually a ton of weight. The range of these two vehicles are pretty similar, but Rivian's is just a bit higher at 300 to 330 miles. It varies around which car you're getting, which model, and the Tesla's is 260 to 310 miles, which is decent. It's not too bad, but Rivian's is just a smidge higher. Now on the interior, the seats are pretty same. They feel both pretty good. I felt the R1S seats, which are pretty decent. And then I also felt the actual Tesla Model Y seats in a few videos back, so they both feel pretty same. The R2's seats are also going to be pretty similar to the R1S's, so the seats are not extraordinary. Tesla Model Y has 2 rows, and the Rivian R2 also has 2 rows, so no big difference there. But the steering wheel, as you guys know, Tesla is actually known for having no buttons in their interior. Even the steering wheel buttons are just haptics. They're not actual buttons. You touch it and a vibration will happen. And Rivian is actually also removing the buttons on the R2 and R3 models. They're actually implementing these kind of wheels that you can turn for the volume and other stuff. As I'm showing you autofocus's video, he showed us those wheels on the steering wheel. You can use them for volume and a lot of other things. You can actually choose what to do with them, and that's pretty cool. It's a new feature I haven't seen in a lot of cars. Actually, none cars. Cars either have those buttons, obviously, or Tesla's haptics, but I haven't seen those wheels, so that's pretty cool. Now, Rivian's older brothers, the truck R1T and R1S, they both have air suspension, and so does other models of Tesla. But sadly, the R2 and the Tesla Model Y, they don't have air suspension, so you can't raise or lower the height of the vehicle, sadly. And I'm guessing because this Rivian wanted to bring the price down, and they're also going to cut some features, sadly, so you won't be getting air suspension on that. And sadly, the vehicle is also still not here. It's coming in 2026, 2 years from now, which is a long time. 2024 just came, and you're gonna have to wait 2 more years for this Rivian R2 to come. So Tesla Model Y, you don't have to wait. You can literally walk into the Tesla store and buy now. But sadly, you will have to wait for the Rivian R2 and R3. 2 more years, which is a long time. Sadly, they just announced it, and they're gonna have to make a lot of more updates and stuff like that before they're gonna actually release the car. Now let's just talk about everyday use. So the Rivian R2 is actually bigger, just a bit bigger in all dimensions. Tesla Model Y. So parking it and doing all that stuff that you have to do every day for work might be harder since it is just a bit bigger, but it is small definitely compared to its older siblings, the truck and the SUV. So if you're just looking for a small car, not too small, but you don't want a really small Civic or Toyota Camry, but you want an electric Tesla, then the Model Y will be a great option. You don't want a huge SUV like the Rivian. Tesla Model Y is right there, you can buy it. But if you want like a Rivian experience and you also want to go off-roading, then R2 will definitely be for you, because you cannot go off-roading with the Tesla Model Y since it's just an everyday car. It is not meant for off-roading. Well, the R2 has features that you can go off-roading with, but you can't with the Tesla Model Y, so you will have to buy the Rivian R2 if you want an electric off-road car. Now, if you really want a Rivian and you just want that nice Rivian experience with the scrolling steering wheel and those nice seats and that nice SUV, I also just like the look of the Rivian, so maybe you like that too, then sadly you will have to wait those 2 years. But the Tesla Model Y you can buy right now, as I said earlier. So if you urgently need maybe electric vehicle because you don't want to spend more gas, or you just want right now, or maybe in a few months or weeks or something, or you're planning to buy one, then you definitely want to buy a Tesla vehicle, unless you want to spend at least like $80,000 for a Rivian. So you'll definitely not want to buy the R2 right now because it's not even released. But if you want an electric car right now, Tesla is the way to go. They have some cheap models. They're not too expensive. If you want their expensive high-end ones, you can go. But if you want to wait for the R2, you have to wait 2 more years, sadly. So that's a major con. But that's it for today's video. I'm really excited for the R2 since it's pretty cheap and pretty nice at the same time. It has the nice SUV texture and look as the same R1S. This is cheaper and much more affordable. Since we already have 2 cars and we want another big one, we already have a big SUV and a car. We're not gonna be on the hype, all hyped up and super happy to buy this affordable SUV. We already have one, so we don't need it for now. But this one's definitely a great option for an affordable SUV. And on that note, that's it for today's video. I hope I helped you, educate you about Rivian R2. And maybe if you want it, then I showed you which car to get, Tesla Model Y or R2. And bye for now. I'll see you in the next video. YouTube Pro out.
Into the unknown, 'cause this is where dreams are born.